Welcome to Conversations. I'm Suresh Kochattil. They say when life gives you a choice, take the best bit. So, when they give you a choice for youngsters of today, be a skyroot, not a cockroach. The ongoing protest in Delhi kind of takes me back to the days when we protested during the Navnirman movement of the legendary Jayaprakash Narayan. Protesting near the Raj Bhavan in Hyderabad, enduring the lathi charge by police, the tear gas and everything. I grew up in Osmania University. My house was at the edge of Osmania University. I see numerous agitations in Osmania over a period of time. But what is happening in Delhi really makes me laugh and of course sometimes wonder what happened to our media, what happened to the so-called protesters out there. Let's first look at the issue. What are they protesting about? They want the resignation of Dharmendra Pradhan. Well, that is what it started. Now, they want the resignation of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. I won't be surprised tomorrow if they ask for the resignation of the US President Donald Trump. That is also possible. Ladies and gentlemen, that's not what the question is. The moot point was, okay, Dharmendra Pradhan resigns tomorrow. And next year, the NEET exam happens again. And this time, I believe it's going to be a computer-based test like the JEE. So we won't have any leakage. But suppose, hypothetically, we take it that again the NEET happens in a paper format. What happens if it leaks again? Will the then Education Minister be asked to quit? It can go on and on and on. Quitting is not the solution. The solution is accountability for the person who leaked the paper. Of course, the buck stops with the top man, as Harry Truman once put it on his desk at the White House. But the question is the violence that we saw the other day. It all reminds me, it takes me back to Shaheen Bagh. And of course, the farmers' protest. What a hangama was made out those days. Oh my God, people are protesting day and night. Media coverage was 24/7. All the leftist medias, including those from my home state of Kerala, were all there in strength. They are there even now. But what I liked was one of the cameramen yesterday was hit by a stone thrown by a student protester. It was a Malayalam news channel reporter. And he suddenly turned kind of angry with the students, saying, how can you throw stones at me? Oh, it's good to throw stones at the police, but one should not throw stones at the media people. We saw how the Times Now correspondent was roughed up. Suppose that had happened to a Wire or a Quint or a Scroll or some other leftist Chinese publications, online publications, what would have happened? There would have been a kind of hue and cry. And people would have said, my God, Modi is killing everybody. And that is what is the problem. The problem is simple. You do a protest and suddenly the protest gets hijacked. Everybody knows that the cockroach Jantar Party is a creation of the Aam Aadmi Party by the same people who used to run the party. Then the leftists joined. We saw Brinda Karat, we saw M.A. Baby and others there. And of course, the entire audience, 90% of them are we saw the SFI cat folks from JNU, other places, including Kerala. They've been bought in by the hundreds. And naturally, they'll all be there because they are technically unemployed. They don't care. They don't go for their education. They don't go for their studies. The real students of NEET studied and got selected. And I saw interviews with a number of them today and I'm very, very pleasantly pleased with it. 11 lakh students qualify. Of course, we have about 1,20,000 seats, which is a strike ratio of 1:10. Protest, yes. But then why beat up a policeman? Why destroy police vans? And these were goons. And here I feel Modi government has been kind of very, very soft with these people. No. One needs to be ruthless. One needs to hit back. One needs to arrest and take them, lock them up under UAP. It doesn't matter. There's nothing called Gen Z will not vote for Modi. Sorry, this is all nonsense. The real Gen Z are sitting and working hard, studying, or kind of making a career for themselves. This, ladies and gentlemen, one needs to understand that protests are good till it reaches a state. And what we saw in Delhi was a shameful exercise where police vehicles were upturned, where public facilities were destroyed. And of course, Prime Minister Modi's life was also said to be in danger because some of them said openly called for his assassination. One lady even went to the extent to allege that those who qualified in NEET, actually their parents and sisters slept with somebody in the power. We all know who they were referring to. That is why it gets my goat sometimes. Who are these jokers? Who is funding them? This is what we need to know. And the kind of media coverage they get, how much is media being paid for it? The so-called leftist media, we know that all of them, they are there 24/7, giving every coverage for every small thing. What I loved about the entire thing yesterday was way Rahul Gandhi hijacked the entire thing. Till Kejriwal was freaking out till Kejriwal was running the entire show along with the communist. Everything was hunky-dory. Suddenly Rahul Gandhi realized that he was nowhere in the picture, or his party was nowhere in the picture. It's a different matter that in Kerala, the same Congress government led by V.D. Satishan beat up Communist Party protesters for protesting against the NEET leak just 2 days ago. It was worse than what happened in Delhi, and for no reason at all. There was no stones thrown, unlike in Delhi. But here, in Kerala, they beat up the Communist Party, SFI and DYFI, and there was no protest from the Kerala people. None of the Congress leaders in Kerala protested. But when it happened in Delhi, oh my God, everybody is there. Students have got hit. Each of those injured characters should be investigated, not just put in the hospital. Who they are, where do they come from, what are they studying? You'll find half of them will be unemployed guys walking around. India has a problem of employment, as I keep saying. You don't get a plumber, you don't get a carpenter, you don't get an electrician, but you get hundreds and thousands of graduates and software engineers. That's a problem. Misplaced priorities. But one thing is very clear, that if there is violence, it has to be met with violence. Simple as that. No thing saying, oh, well, they're kids. They are not kids. They are goons who throw stones at people, who throw stones at pedestrians, who throw stones at the police. Hundreds and thousands of people were inconvenienced, sitting for hours at the road. These people need to be kind of compensated. The Supreme Court needs to set up a committee to ask and demand that those who blocked the roads and those who created the violence that day, the so-called cockroach Janata Party, should be able to pay for it. And Rahul Gandhi, thank you very much for taking away the credit from Arvind Kejriwal. Now your party and their party are fighting it out on social media, abusing each other, showing off your true colors. And this is what it is all about. End of the day, during the farmers' protest, Kejriwal did the same thing. He kind of supported the farmers, gave them water, gave them food, because he was in power there in Delhi. But what happened subsequently? The farmers went back. A lot of them were from Haryana and Punjab. And BJP was supposed to lose Haryana because of the farm protest. But BJP won. My God, Congress was worried. And Rahul Gandhi rightly went on town saying that it is vote chori. Then they said, no, BJP will lose West Bengal also because Gen Z is against BJP. What the hell? Not even 1% of the so-called Gen Z have seen a police station in their lives. The serious ones, the ones who want to make a career, study. And that's what happened. Many of them who rewrote the exam this time, who wrote it for the second time, did well. And as I said, they need to be congratulated. Their parents need to be congratulated. Not to take these goons or allow them to go and sit in the protest at Jantar Mantar. Ladies and gentlemen, I saw a tweet from one of the Congress guys today saying, please take your kids to the Jantar Mantar. Please don't make that mistake. Once your child's name gets into the police records, their career is destroyed forever. From passport to background checks in companies where they join, none of them will get a job. Please make sure that they study well, they work hard and make a career for themselves and have a good family life. That's important. Thank you for watching. Jai Hind.